Welcome to my existentialism on chapter 13 of The Mandalorian, titled The Jedi. I think this is one of the best episodes of season 2 so far, primarily because it does a lot to establish who the Jedi are or were outside of the Skywalker saga. Now, I have not finished the Clone Wars or Rebels yet. I am working through those, and I did read a little bit ahead, but I'm learning that maybe at the end, Ahsoka wasn't really a Jedi anymore. She kind of split off, but even then, you still kind of see who the Jedi are outside of this context of just the Skywalkers and all the drama that goes on around them. And that's what I've always found really interesting about Star Wars, the stuff that happens outside. Of course, there still is the Skywalker legacy that exists, especially when Ahsoka's like, I can't really train him because, Anakin kind of just messed the whole thing up for everyone. He was too attached to things, just wanted all this power, and look where that ended. So, terrified. And then at the same time, they're really, really developing the child. I thought also what they did really, really well was kind of establish the code of honor around Mando and Ahsoka. They were very, very similar. They both kind of were like, hey, I'm not agreeing to this, but, I'm going to let you think it just so I can kind of get ahead and we can get these things done. Mando, when he was tricking Morgan at first, he's like, yeah, I'm totally going to go ahead and kill that Jedi. Where is she? Oh, I didn't say that first part, though. In this episode, I think one of the things that really knocked it out of a park, at least visually, was when Ahsoka was fighting with Morgan. The battle at the beginning really, really felt like it was tight. Like, it was just like, they're kind of evenly matched. This is a thing. It's going on. And then all of a sudden, Morgan knocks one of the lightsabers out of Ahsoka's hand, and it's just like, okay, cool. But then immediately after that, Ahsoka just pretty much ends the fight. And it's like, okay, now you're going to tell me what. And I think that choreography was just so well done to show the power dynamic. Like, it was Ahsoka who was leading that whole entire fight. And you kind of see it at the beginning too, with who kind of takes the first action and how it's being led. It was like this really, really well done dance. And I thought that was really, really great to show the power dynamic, because normally we only really see Mando or the other characters just kind of like, cool, yeah, we did it at brute force, and there's not really a lot more that you can look into it. So I thought that was really well done. Not to say that choreography with Mando isn't that great either. That's also really good. Another one of my favorite parts of this episode is how they're really managing to humanize these characters. With the frog lady in the former episodes, when she hacks the droid and it's like, oh, cool, now you're using this to communicate. What? That was so... It didn't just make her feel like an accessory character. Like, you're not just here so that Mando's plot can move forward, even though kind of still technically is. Or with the droid at the end of season 1's episode. Oh my God. Never thought I'd cry over a robot, but alas, Taika, you did it. Yep, really good. Really good. Oh boy. Yeah, they really managed to humanize the character Grogu, which we got the name reveal, finally, of who Baby Yoda is. Every time he reacts to that name, it's just like, what? He's just been the child or the kid this whole time, and like the fact that he has an entire backstory, really, really lending to the fact that he's 50 years old. That, I don't know. Like I said, it felt like now Baby Yoda isn't just it felt like Grogu isn't really just a plot device for the Mandalorian to kind of move forward. There's now a bigger, more complex layer to the child. On Grogu's fear of using the Force, I think that Grogu is probably scared because he recognizes that the more he uses the Force, the more that other beings can detect him. And if he is detected by other beings that are Force sensitive like him, he's scared that they'll come for him and, or worse, try and kidnap him again and use him for that. But he feels comfortable around Mando to use the Force because he knows that, one, Mando doesn't really care about his Force sensitivity. He's just a child. And two, he only really uses the Force to defend Mando or get what he wants, which I think really goes into Ahsoka's points about her worry and fear of training Grogu, because it's very clear that he is deep in his feelings, which would make him prime for using the dark side of the Force. I mean, we see this a lot in these episodes when he was eating the little frog babies, which he very clearly understood were frog babies, But he still did it anyway, and he still kept trying to eat the little frog babies because it's what he wanted. When he wanted those blue cookies from that other kid, just straight up and took them. Whenever he wants a little shiny ball, just goes and does it. He is really, really selfish, and he's also very attached to Mando. So if anything were to happen to Mando, I feel as if though Baby Yoda would probably not react very well. So this kind of is a very interesting trajectory that they could take with this. I mean, the Mandalorian are notorious for taking in anyone in the series, and who knows, maybe another Mandalorian Jedi. I mean, they did kind of show that with the black lightsaber, which I am told was made by a Mandalorian, which like wields a lot of power, and they explore that in this other. So who knows? Maybe Grogu will be a Mandalorian Jedi, which brings us to the next thing, the Jedi Temple. I think at the Jedi Temple, they're kind of setting it up so that Grogu, the one who comes to train him, will probably be Ezra Bridgers. And like I said earlier, I have not really seen Clone Wars or Rebels in their entirety yet, so I don't know how far off this theory could be, but from what I know, Ezra is somewhere out there, and all these events are kind of taking place after that. So I do think that there is a very good possibility that it'll be Ezra who shows up to train with Baby Yoda. And so far from what I've seen in Rebels, I'm somewhere at the start of season 2. It looks like Ezra is also very emotional and attached to things, but finding a new way. And very similar to how there is a new kind of Sith with Kylo Ren. And the same way that Rey was just kind of more neutral with the Force and able to keep a healthy balance, I do think that there's going to be a lot more exploration for that. And it's not just going to be as easy as light side and dark side with the child or Grogu. That's going to be a really, really interesting thing to see play out through the rest of the series and see where it expands on, honestly. But yeah, I do think Ezra Bridger is going to be introduced. I think that the music was really, really well done. And the set design was also fairly amazing. I mean, it was really foggy and you could really kind of feel like there was something off about it, and that really, really changed after they won. One of the things though is that virtual screen that they are using. I've finally begun to notice it more, but only because I'm literally looking for it. I'm like, oh, okay, how to notice. But I think it's still really, really well done. I think the 3D artists are really killing it with this, and just really, really lending a lot more to the whole series to really bring that sci-fi element and really make you feel like you're there. Heck, even that whole opening sequence, right, with Ahsoka just thrown in there, you really felt like how scared and terrified these little troops are, just like, oh, cool, all right, go die. You really felt that fear, and you really felt like it was really well done visually. So yeah, I think the 3D artists are killing it. I think that this is just getting better and better, and I'm really excited to see where the rest of the season goes. So what did you think about the episode? Who do you think is going to be the Jedi that's going to come to see Grogu? Leave your comments in the comment section down below, and I guess subscribe. I don't know, weird topic to do my first video on, but here we are. Oh yeah, also subscribe for more reviews on stuff